Ha cha cha. Hello, we're back. Hold on, bear with me, guys, while I get this all figured out. Figured out and set up. Let me see if I can find my live stream on my end. Here we go. Turn the sound off on my computer. Hey, there we are. All right, I'm actually in frame pretty well. Let me fix my. Oh. Hi, guys. There we go. All right, we have 4 people here right now. I think it's probably the 4 of you that are in the comments. Wellington, old friend Levi, YK, and Barry and Ryan. Hi guys, how's it going? Hope you haven't been waiting for too long. Thanks for joining me tonight. We're gonna watch Prisoner of Azkaban together, like I said. This is the live movie watch along and discussion. Obviously, for copyright reasons, I'm not showing you guys the movie, but we will sync up the movie to start at the same time so we're all watching it together. Let me know, you guys, if you can hear me well enough, if I'm talking too loudly into my microphone. Just like last time, I'm using my iPhone microphone just because I think it'll be easier to make sure that I don't get any sound of the movie coming through this microphone than my normal recording microphone. Don't want to run into any copyright issues, obviously. So I'm kind of sitting like I'm at the behest of the length of my cord here. I might scoot you guys closer and tilt you up. We'll see how that works out. Make my life easier. See, I have a delay, so I need to wait to see how it's going to look. Oh, that's fine. Yeah. My computer's over here. That's what I'm looking at. Sup, Levi. Thanks for letting me know that you can hear me. YK, appreciate it. We've got 8 people in the stream now. You guys, we're going to start in about 7 minutes. We'll start the movie. So that's 10:10 Pacific Daylight Time. So we will, yeah, we'll start the movie in like 7 minutes. Like I said, to give you guys time to load it into your DVD players, Xbox, whatever you use to watch your movies nowadays. How's everything going? Give me some updates on your lives in the comments. As always, feel free to ask anything you want in the comments. I will answer most anything you ask. Not everything. I'm not going to promise to answer everything. I just won't. And yeah, we'll discuss the movie together. We'll talk about the book. We'll talk about differences. We'll talk about whatever you guys want. Socially inept Spider-Man. You have one of my favorite usernames of all time. The thing that Azkaban has such a unique style compared to all the other Harry Potter movies. It definitely unique, I think, is the one word that everyone would agree upon. Yeah, I think Alfonso Cuarón, the director, definitely took a stark departure from what Chris Columbus was doing with the first 2 movies. And then the 4th one, Mike Nichols, took an even like a departure from what Cuarón did. Sort of blended the 2. So yeah, we'll talk about that in this movie. It'll be good. I like Prisoner of Azkaban. I have a friend who hates it, who thinks that Alfonso Cuarón just screwed up everything. It's not my favorite movie by far. I don't think his vision is the best for the universe, but you know, it's distinct. It stands out. He did something clear. Oh, Levi, I'm so sorry to hear that you lost your grandfather. Yeah, just really sorry to hear that. I also saw Endgame though. I only saw it once. I saw it at 11:15 p.m. I was at the theater until 2:30 a.m. and then I woke up to go to work the next day. So, we make choices. Sorry that everyone has people that they love or care about that are not doing so well. Sorry to hear that, guys. Yeah. 10:05, about 5 minutes until we start the movie. So make sure you got your drinks, your snacks, whatever you want. We're going to be up for a while. Like we did last time, when you join us, let me know where you're watching from. I'm on the West Coast. That's why I say everything is on Pacific time, because I don't want to do the conversion. I think right now Pacific Daylight Time is Greenwich Mean Time -7. So yeah, I think it's like 5 a.m. right now in England. Anyone who's in England, feel free to correct me. Australia. I love that I have Australians in the stream because this is like the best time for you guys. So welcome. Thank you for joining me, Jason C. Drake. Uh, yeah, I think last time I did this stream, it wasn't daylight savings time, or it might have been. But I was people in Australia saying like, yeah, it's 3 p.m., 4 p.m. It's a perfect time for you guys. Almost everyone else that was in the stream, it was terrible time. So these live streams were for my Australians. Oh man, Wellington, way to bring up a good point. This weekend was brutal between Game of Thrones and Endgame. It's just too much emotional energy being expended. It's 6 past 6 in England. So okay, so it's 6 a.m. So it's still 8 hours ahead. Thank you for that update, socially inept Spider-Man. I just laugh every time I see your username. Saw in game twice, waiting for university admissions, watching from Israel. 8 a.m. in Israel. That's a good time. That's an okay time. Hope you're having a good spring break. Cool that I have someone from Israel watching. I love that we are all over the world and we can come together and watch this movie. Let me see if I can find a time stamp on mine, Wellington. I'm not sure how long. I might have to start the movie and then pause. New Zealand. That's cool. Hi, Heba. Happy to have you with us. Show me the time. Yeah, 2:21. 2 hours, 21 minutes, 23 seconds. Or 20... Sorry, it was still rewinding when I said that. 31 seconds. Got lots of my OG watchers here. Love you guys. A video that I put out last week, guys, I want you to know that I was being so genuine, so sincere. I do really appreciate all of the thoughtfulness and kindness and support and intelligence and intellect and curiosity that you guys express in the comments. You guys give me life, you know? It's wonderful. Yeah, you guys are the reason that I'm able to keep pushing through. Oh man. All right, 10:09 on my clock. So in about 1 minute, I'll do a countdown, just so you know. I won't just be like 10:10 start right now. But we'll count down, and hopefully it's synced up. Even though I know there's issues with the syncing. Get up early, clean up. No worries, Levi. Thank you for joining us for this short period. If you want to check back in, feel free. You know, we'll be here for about 2 hours, 21 minutes, and 31 seconds. Yeah. All right, guys. We have 7 people watching with us right now. This is great. I love that this stays a small group so that the comments don't just get flooded and I can't pay attention to them. Cool. Thanks for joining us, Levi. No worries for having to leave. This is just a, feel free to come and go. You know this community. You are always welcome, bud. Your topics are independent enough to promote it. Well, thank you for saying that, YK. I try to, I try to do something different with this channel. The concept for the channel originally started, the idea came from Harry Potter and the Sacred Text. There was no one really doing that kind of work on YouTube. There was the podcast, of course, but no one really doing that kind of work on YouTube. Sort of that rigorous week by week, chapter by week, diving deep into it. There are plenty of theory channels, but no one was going through it chapter at a time, rereading it. So I kind of saw my niche and wanted to fill it. All right, guys, my clock just ticked over to 10:10. So I'm going to count down from 15, starting now. 15, 14, 13, gotta get mine ready. 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, play. All right, we're going. And just right from the start, like, Quaron makes the bold choice to have Harry practicing magic at home, outside school. Like, sure, maybe the Dursleys won't notice him, but the Ministry will, and the Ministry will get pissed off about it. Because just in the previous book, in his previous summer, he was told he was going to get expelled if they caught him doing magic outside school again. So, what the hell? Also, I'm pretty sure someone can double check this for me, but I don't think Lumos Maxima is a spell that exists within the books. I think that's a spell that's just within the movies. So technically, Lumos Maxima is not canon, if I'm remembering right. Renegade Harry. He's a rebel. That kid studies at home. I mean, really though, like, how do they expect kids not to just, like, be so out of practice by the time they get back to school? It's like magic is basically just memorization if you can't work on keeping that stuff memorized. Man, Vernon cares too much. He needs to mind his own business. All right. Thanks for joining us. Hope you can come back, YK. We'll see you later if you do. Oh, Aunt Marge. The actor who plays Aunt Marge, I think, is easily one of the best performances in all the movies. Easily. I need to turn it up. I can't hear. This movie's so quiet, I forgot. You see, I think Lumos... I know Lumos is in the books. I think Lumos Maxima isn't in the books. I need to share this live stream on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram. Yeah, guys, share this everywhere with everyone you know. Let the whole world know that we are live streaming. Have you guys ever listened to any of the audiobooks of Harry Potter? The audiobooks read by Jim Dale, his voice that he does for Aunt Marge is the best. It's so funny. Excuse me while I promote myself. Harry's so sassy. Sorry about this, guys. I should have promoted this before we joined so that you wouldn't have to deal with me just sitting here doing nothing. Yeah, Emma, he's so good. Everyone, like, I hear people that shit on him so much and compare him to Stephen Fry and say Stephen Fry is so much better, but I just love him. Like, not all of his voices are great. His Hermione is troubling, but still. He's funny. Alright. While I'm here self-promoting anyway, you guys follow me on Twitter at KevinLomanYT. Follow me on Instagram at KevLoman. Right? No, KP Loman. And like my page on Facebook, Kevin Loman. Alright, that's fine. This is live, Wario Land Gold Pyramid. Along with the pop. Sassy Harry. Hi, honey. Yeah, don't worry. It's been so long since we read these chapters, guys. Like, I don't even remember how many chapters Aunt Marge... I think she's like the 3rd or 4th chapter, and Quadon's just tearing through stuff. She might not be that late into it. I could be totally off. See, in the Harry Potter video games... Did you know Stephen Fry narrated Harry Potter video games?
Yeah, I played them.
Cool. My wife is here. She doesn't want to be on camera, but she's going to watch the movie with us.
Hi, everybody.
I love this music. Evie? No, thank you. Fucking noises that she makes.
Like a bird. Like that bird.
It's like, complain all you will about Alfonso Cuarón, just slashing the story to bits and completely changing the way that Hogwarts looks, but like, I think he made a better standalone film than what either of Chris Columbus did. Like, he cared so much more about making his movie than making an adaptation of a book, which I think is he does a service to it in a way. It would have been interesting if he had signed on for more than one. I don't know if they ever had that intention.
I think he added humor to the series too.
Yeah,
this whole sequence with the music and everything, it's different.
Yeah,
you know it's different from the very beginning of the movie.
For sure. And like he infused music to it in such a different way.
Mm-hmm.
So like the music really became a character. Okay, let me catch up.
How many people are joining us?
8 people watching with us right now.
Cool.
Harry doesn't give any shits anymore.
It's a privileged white boy saying that.
Also, I'm pretty sure I remember in the books, she does not float out of their house. She just keeps inflating within their house. At least that's what's implied. And you know what I never really thought about? Sirius must know where the Dursleys live. Otherwise, like,
right
yeah,
there.
why would he be in Surrey? Like, Harry hasn't walked that far by this time. He hasn't
You're
walked
right.
hundreds of miles. So Sirius knows where Harry is.
Do you think he followed him from closer to his house? Or was
Maybe.
he literally just being out in this park?
No. I think, like, Sirius saw the picture of Scabbers in Egypt with the Weasleys and then decided he was going to head to Hogwarts. Azkaban is in the ocean above Scotland, and Hogwarts is in Scotland. So this dude traveled way farther than he needed to, all the way down to Surrey to, like, keep an eye on his godson.
So how long do you think he's been doing this?
I don't know. It seems like it's still on Muggle news.
Do you think
that
he
he
barked
escaped.
right there to warn him about the night bus?
Maybe.
Because, like, it just seems incongruent that he would threaten Harry with...
Right,
right. They made him look scary on purpose. I get that.
Yeah.
But...
Yeah. I don't know. It is true. Prisoner of Azkaban is not a good adaptation, but it is a good movie. Stanton Pike has some of the best lines in all the movies. What you fell over for? You can look too. Don't worry. Yeah.
I'm not going to be
No.
in the way?
You can see if you're going to be on camera, honey.
Okay.
Oh my god, the freeze frame shot at the end is the stupidest thing on earth.
Yeah.
Maybe it would have been easier if Sirius had just gone to the burrow, but definitely would have been caught. Like,
How would he know where the burrow is?
that's true.
Wait, hold on. If Molly and Arthur were involved before...
They weren't.
They weren't.
No, her brothers were, but they weren't.
You're right. Okay.
I think it's a bad adaptation just because he cut out like 2/3 of the book, and I remember watching this movie with my best friend for his first time, and we got to the end of the movie, and like the way that they just blow through the explanation of the timeline of events with Peter betraying the Potters and everything, like I had to explain it to him afterwards because the movie just doesn't do a good job of explaining it. Cuarón just tears through it so fast that you can't really get a good sense of what happened. Um, One of the best lines that Stan Shumpike also has that I don't know if has happened yet because I've been talking and not paying attention is when he says, "Isa mudra."
I have not said that yet.
Jason Drake, you bring up a good point. Sirius is dramatic as fuck. That dude loves to show off. Isa mudra. Right. The fact that Harry changes his name on the night bus, like they could have added that. It seems like Harry would be pretty recognizable at this point, though. So maybe Stan's just stupid. YK, let me see if I can find the timestamp for you. If you need right now, the bus is squeezing in between the two double deckers. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to find the info pane. Yeah, 12 minutes, 2 seconds, 3 seconds, 4 seconds. Hopefully that helps. For the longest time, I didn't know that John Williams also did the music for the third movie, because like, especially that music that's playing right there during the night bus scene, it just feels so non-John Williams. You know, like normally his stuff is so big and sweeping and orchestral that the yeah.
Yeah. It's very like metropolitan,
Yeah.
bossy, big city, night lights
Yeah.
of music, which is strange for the series, but I think it works for the moment.
Mm-hmm.
But you're right, it is a huge departure.
Yeah. I love it though. It's great. It's perfect. Also, like, I don't understand the choice to make Tom a hunchback.
Right? Like
It's
a
weird.
Hunchback Igor kind
Yeah.
of mashup.
It's almost like part of what I'm trying to do is like take old school horror movies and make them modern somehow, but also magical. It's like he was trying to take a Harry Potter and turn it into an old school monster movie.
Well, just this just kind of reads problematic to me now.
Oh, definitely.
Like this just has not aged well. That
Not
Tom
really.
is like this.
Not really. Yeah. Sirius is sexy and wild, not logical. That's the perfect description. For blowing up their hand. You guys know how much I hate Cornelius Fudge. We'll get into that in book 4 and 5.
Typical old white man nonsense.
And also, like, the person most responsible for the rise of Voldemort besides Voldemort himself.
Yeah.
Just respond to the threat early and then it wouldn't be a problem. Or you'd at least be better prepared so that so many people wouldn't die.
Is Fudge like Fox News?
I'm not going to get into that. That's for a different channel.
Sorry.
It's okay. It's the live stream. We can mention it and not discuss it. Questions. Would the goblins ever let Harry back into Gringotts since he broke in and it's written on the entrance that you won't be allowed entry because then Harry has to beg his friends to get money? Uh, that's a really interesting question. We know that goblins have really different ideas of the rule of law than wizards, and especially ownership. Uh, I don't know. I have to think about that one some more. It's funny, like even the monster book looks a little cheesy. Like however much longer this is since this movie came out.
I think I was a freshman or a sophomore in high school, so that would be like 2004, 2005.
So like almost 15 years older.
Yeah.
It's just like it's not as bad as the troll in the first movie. It's just like the animatronics aren't that smooth. It fits though. Other question. Hey Kevin, do you think Harry Potter would work well as an anime series? Like each season could adapt a book, each and end with the seventh season. I mean, I hope that they turn it into a series. I think animation might cheapen it a little bit. Steven Spielberg was originally approached to do the movies, and he wanted to make them animated. And I think it takes away some of the magic. You know, I think part of what J.K. Rowling did so well is made us feel like this exists within our world, not like this is a world that we can't access. And I think cartoon animation just kind of makes that even more separate from us. And I think that would sort of take it away from us a little bit. Oh, hi, Harry. You're on camera. Everyone, this is Harriet. She's our firstborn. Uh-oh. Stream's having trouble. That's not good. Sorry if the stream's having trouble for you guys. My Wi-Fi's been a little spotty lately. Yeah, I agree. I love the days that Harry just gets to, like, I think it's like 2 weeks when he's living at the Leaky Cauldron by himself. He's a surprisingly responsible child.
That was like my fantasy.
Right?
Was to live those 2 weeks.
Seriously, especially now that we've been there.
Yeah, for real.
Like, it's the dream.
I like when things are just normal in Harry Potter, and you're just experiencing normal wizarding life.
Right.
That is what I
like you get to just see a class.
Yeah.
A class where nothing really goes wrong.
Yeah. They used to have, like, in the early days of the internet, they used to have, like, role-playing games online. Where you would, like, attend Hogwarts and stuff like that. That stuff was my jam.
That's
because
awesome.
You could just pretend to have normal wizarding experiences.
That's nuts.
Yeah, it was, like, super, super back in the day.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Here's another thing that the movies did that I dislike. The disagreement between Molly and Arthur over whether or not Harry should know, and the fact that he just overhears it on his own, I feel like I don't know, it comes back up in later books when they're arguing about whether or not to tell Harry something. Like, I feel like a big part of the series is, do we treat Harry like a child or do we treat him like an adult? And Corwin just ignores that completely and decides, no, we just need to get this information out there. Also, you completely miss Fred and George making Percy's head boy badge say Big Head Boy. Also, this movie is the start of Angsty Harry, and I love me some Angsty Harry.
It's time for my hero.
Lupin is Jess's favorite character, by far. And he should be everyone's favorite character. I'll just say it. Except for me. Because Ginny. Lupin and Ginny are similar, though.
How so?
Courageous, looked down upon, stronger than everyone thinks they'll be, kind, patient, but also not willing to put up with people's shit.
could deal with darkness inside.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah. It's just a lot of love for Lupin going on in the comments right now.
Aww.
Lupin's wand is one of the 4 wands that we own. We have my wand, Jess's wand that shows us in Diagon Alley in Orlando. And then Lupin's wand and Voldemort's wand. Because Voldemort's wand is badass. Do you remember when we bought Voldemort's wand and there was that old guy who just randomly talked to me about it? And we thought it was me from the future?
I don't remember that.
It's just like, there was
Mostly
this
I
old
just remember
couple.
how you would always do it with the wrist, like.
You have to hold it like
You
him.
have to. You can't use it normally.
He holds it like a single chopstick. And he does it like a weird overhand kind of thing. Seriously. Dementor. Also, Ginny is supposed to be in the compartment. Neville's supposed to be in the compartment. This movie is a really good example of the misrepresentation of Ginny Weasley. Because we talked about this, you guys. We're supposed to see that the Dementors also affect Ginny, not quite as intensely as Harry, but because like she doesn't start convulsing and everything. But that Ginny also starts to pass out when the Dementors are around because she has also been possessed by Voldemort and has experienced that great pain. Have any of you been on the Harry Potter and the Forbidden Journey? Is that what it's called? Is that what the ride's called?
I think so.
The Hogwarts ride?
Yeah.
The Dementors on that ride are freaky.
They get me every time.
Yeah.
And I'm not normally like afraid of puppets or anything.
No, and we've been on that ride many
know.
times.
I know.
They're just like, I think it's because so much of the ride is video, and then you get to the Dementors and it's an actual thing, and you're like, oh fuck. Sorry guys, I know I normally bleep out curse words in the videos, but I'm a grown up. What were you gonna say?
I was so embarrassed that I had kind of a hard time when we took Margot to Universal and we had to ride separately and like do the whole baby switch off thing.
I mean, by yourself.
Like, I had to
yeah.
close my eyes. And
I don't
was
blame
like,
you.
oh my god, I'm such a weenie. But it was just like
I don't blame you. Not at all.
the anxiety of them popping out of the dark was just like,
Yeah.
yikes.
It's terrifying. Best advice in the whole world.
True.
Can we just talk about how I would totally wear what Hermione's wearing? Because she's wearing corduroy pants and a colorful striped hoodie.
Yeah,
I would
that is your style.
rock that outfit. I love me some corduroys, guys. Have you noticed? Someone has my favorite username that I've ever read.
What?
Socially inept Spider-Man.
Oh my god, that's awesome.
Always when Harry's at the Weasleys or something. The scenes in the Burrow, just like everyone, I think we would all choose to live there if we could. Yeah, the rides are terrifying. Spiders are scary too, especially if you're scared of spiders. How do you feel about the Frog Choir?
It's not my favorite.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I feel like the frogs are a bit of a strange choice.
Well, nowhere in the books does it say that they are giant toads, and there's been no indication that Trevor is a giant toad.
Right.
So, like, if you get a giant toad and you bring it to Hogwarts, are you automatically in the choir, or like, is there some sort of audition process for the toads? Like, are only saving people acquiring giant toads and bringing them? Or are there other giant toads?
Here's an extra question real quick.
Yes.
Why is the tambourine playing girl not playing tambourine to the beat of the tambourine?
All important questions.
Sorry, I just had to get that out before the tambourine was gone. Whoa, why does Dumbledore look different? All right,
Does anybody
guys.
else besides me call him Bonbon?
First question, like Jess said, does anyone call him Bonbon? Second question, tell me what you think about Michael Gambon. I have a personal bias against him because he refused to read the books and said that Dumbledore was nothing more than an angry Irishman. Dementor, Dementor. Ooh, I don't know how Butterbeer is at the studio tour, but the Butterbeer at um, the parks is really good, especially the frozen Butterbeer because it's not quite as like sickly sweet as the like standard Butterbeer. We haven't tried warm Butterbeer yet. I bet that's good.
I want to.
Yeah.
We'd have to go in the winter for that though, because I don't want to drink that when it's hot. Outside.
No, God no. I don't know if they serve it during the summer. Hashtag not my Dumbledore. I remember thinking when Richard Harris died that I wanted them to cast Ian McKellen because like the Lord of the Rings movies, at least some of them had already come out. I don't know if all of them had.
Fellowship and Two Towers
Yeah.
came out. I
And it
think.
wasn't until just recently that he turned it down because Richard Harris was homophobic.
I remember the exact moment I found out Richard Harris died.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was kind of a big moment.
he was bigger in your childhood than mine.
No, not so much. I didn't like Camelot until I was older.
Oh, okay, I didn't know.
So it was just the fact that the guy playing Dumbledore died. Like I felt like the
Right.
ceiling fell. You know, like it was just
Yeah.
like, how is this possible? What are they gonna do?
Yeah, I remember back then, like people were talking about like, are they gonna keep making movies, blah blah. Blah. And then right around then was also time that they were talking about like, you know, the kids are aging before they're able to make the movies fast enough. Are they gonna recast them and all this stuff? I knew someone was going to bring up the he asked calmly moment in the fourth movie. My issue with that is more the director because Michael Gambon could have, you know, given that performance and then the director could have gone, let's do that differently. Let's do it a different way. But chose not to. So, and especially like on film, an actor's job is to give as many options as possible, not to give one option. So, I place that more on Mike Nichols than on Michael Gambon. Love the irony that the Harry Potter fandom is so angry at the mention of the word calmly. I hadn't thought of that. Jason C. Drake, you're bringing up a lot of interesting points tonight, so thank you for joining us. Jason C. Drake is in Australia,
Very cool.
where it is the only optimal time to watch this in the world.
What time is it there?
Like 3 p.m., 4 p.m., I think?
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Everywhere else, it's like 5 a.m., 12 p.m., 12 a.m. One thing, like, you can tell Cuarón cared a lot more about the look of the movie than necessarily sticking to the story, because, like, those scenes where the boys are just eating those chocolates, like, and then this transition scene with the bird flying throughout Hogwarts. It's like a lot of unnecessary stuff that makes for a good film, but eats up the time to tell. Like, Prisoner of Azkaban is a kind of a complicated story. It's not as straightforward as Sorcerer's Stone. Okay, Jess is also a huge Emma Thompson fan. Emma Thompson is her favorite actor by far.
Not because of this.
No, not because of many other things. I love that. Like the one thing that I think this movie gets exactly perfect is her performance.
Every performance in every movie is perfect.
Because like the main thing she's showing is the ineptitude.
Yes.
And just how bad she is at this. There's no question that she's bad at teaching this class. And I feel like Ron spends this entire movie just saying, "Whoa, when did Hermione get here?" Read that bottom comment.
Oh my god, yes.
Sense and Sensibility is a really good
Yes.
movie. Also, with another Harry Potter alum.
And she freaking wrote the thing. And won
Did
the
she direct it too, or just write it?
No, write it and
Gotcha.
act
Yeah.
in it. But she won the Oscar for that. For writing, I mean, not for acting.
Yeah. You're gonna suffer, but you're gonna be happy about it.
I used to say that a lot.
I mean, that's depression, right?
Mm-hmm.
No, you're not happy about suffering. The Queen. Yo, let's all just be honest that the real MVP of this movie is this random kid that they just inserted to explain all the things that no one knows.
So true.
He's the real MVP. Hello, Rory Winberg. Don't worry if you can't stay long. Come and go as you please. Just appreciate you hanging out with us. Thanks for joining. Have a good night. Oh, shoot. I forgot that the microphone is right by where I drank that. Sorry, guys. Slurp. Look at the bunny. I never noticed that bunny before. How many times have I watched this movie? I never noticed that bunny. Hermione gets kind of petty with her insults in this movie.
She is extremely stressed out.
She is, and probably
She's
not sleeping
stressed.
enough.
Oh, yeah.
She's awake for twice as long and probably sleeping for the same amount of time.
Wouldn't that be great if you could have a time turner just to catch up on sleep? I feel like
I don't know
parents.
if it would work.
What, you couldn't just go sleep?
Like, I don't know if I could, like, sleep for 8 hours and then just turn it back and then go back to sleep for
No,
another
I
8
don't mean
hours.
it like that. I mean, like, I don't know. I was thinking more for napping.
Awesome.
Or like if you're up all night with the baby.
That would be useful.
Yeah.
I love that this is the movie when you can start to see that Matthew Lewis is not ugly. They really have to start messing with his appearance to keep him looking awkward.
And stuff, yeah.
And fake teeth.
Yeah.
So if Harry's gonna suffer, but he'll be happy about it. I'm sure. Ooh. Getting a little fan fiction-y. Dementor. Who fell in love first, Ron or Hermione? That's an interesting question.
Oh, okay. So is the question who fell in love first or who knew they were in love first? Because I think that's different.
Yes.
Like knew that that feeling was love
Right.
versus actually had feelings.
I don't know.
Because I think if it's knew they had feelings, it's Hermione.
I mean, yeah, probably.
But-
Someone who is more aware of her emotions.
Yeah.
That'll be an interesting thing to pay attention to when we get to books where they start actually showing that to each other.
Mm-hmm.
I think you might be right. I think we see that in Goblet of Fire, that she knows she has feelings for Ron before he knows he has feelings for her. Because, like, the way he mistreats her, I think, could be portrayed as that, like, typical schoolyard bullshit of, like, whatever. But she clearly has feelings for him because she's like, you know what, just ask me. And I would have said yes. By the way, guys, that whole, like, a boy pushing a girl means he likes her, it's crap. It's nonsense.
Oh my God.
A sleep closet to catch up between classes. Yes.
Harry's tie is like
Oh,
wrong.
so many of their ties are messed up.
That's kind of a cute detail. Or maybe that's the thing at Hogwarts. that
Maybe?
It's
Like,
the
maybe
thing
you
to have
just
the
tie it
underpart.
however long you want and then tuck the underpart into your
That's what the
shirt.
cool kids are doing.
It's funny, like, Gryffindor has the reputation of being, like, the capital C cool kids house, but, like, Look at how many freaking dweebs are in Harry's year. Like, Seamus isn't cool. Neville's not cool. Ron's not cool. Dean's pretty cool.
Oh yeah.
Dean's capital C cool. But he's also great. He's a good person.
Yeah.
I love Dean.
Dean's cool like dogs.
I mean, Ginny developed feelings for Dean, so he's clearly a good person.
We talked about how Harriet is actually a hippogriff in a cat's body.
We have not, but it's so true.
It's so important for everyone.
Our cat is a hippogriff. Hippogriffs are really cat-like.
Yeah.
Like, anyone, if you don't own a cat, like, you have to let the cat agree to be touched. You have to let the cat sniff you first. Have I told you that this music coming up is my favorite in the whole series?
I think you have, yeah.
Yeah. Not like the drum part, but... Also, Harry does not ride Buckbeak for this long in the book. He, like, Buckbeak circles him around the little paddock area and then lands. Yeah, I love this music.
It's beautiful.
I'm running out of things to say just because it's just Harry riding a hippogriff for a lot longer than needs to be shown.
It's just made me think of Daenerys on her dragon right now.
Yeah. No spoilers.
No, none.
Yeah.
Everyone knows that she rides dragons.
I know.
It's not a spoiler.
I saw this tweet today. It said, Valor Morgulis, Valor Doharis, Valor my ragtime gal. I don't know if I would ride a hippogriff. Like, the way that Harry talks about, or that it describes Harry's thoughts in the books, sounds like it's terribly uncomfortable. Like, I've ridden a horse quite a few times in my life, and that's not super comfortable. So, riding a flying horse sounds awful.
I think it sounds great.
Just like the book describes it as like Harry's legs getting slapped for like
I don't know.
here for like 25 minutes. I love watching Hagrid when he's in the background in shots in this movie, just because like they do a pretty bad job of hiding the fact that it's someone in a big Hagrid suit instead of actually Robbie Coltrane. Bloody chicken.
Oh my god. Harriet is Buckbeak and Margot is Malfoy.
Aww.
Not all the time.
Yeah, but like,
Just like, let me get up in your space.
and then
Buckbeak's
when
like,
Harry
"Not today."
accidentally steps on her.
Yeah.
Gotta bring up the headless hunt again. Really just gotta rub that in Nick's face all the time. Madame Pomfrey. The way his like cadence, the way he speaks is so annoying. Went to Madame Pomfrey, but lost my arm. Dovetown. I'm gonna look up where Dovetown is. That's a clue to where Hogwarts might be. It's not canon though. Dufftown.
Do we know if that's in the book or is it just in the
No, it's just in the movie.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah, so it's
I
not
don't
canon,
think
but
so.
it is a town in Scotland, so he at least got that right.
That's the same kid.
Yep.
That's the same voice.
A kid's a genius.
How is
Random
Hermione
new
head
Gryffindor.
of her class if that kid is always given the right answer in this movie?
He's the real smartest Gryffindor. I think Pansy and Draco date in a later book, don't they?
Yeah, they do.
Yeah. Then, you know, he marries someone else who may or may not have a blood curse, according to whether or not you think Grishald's canon. His class is ridiculous.
I want to be a teacher like him so bad.
You will be.
Maybe someday.
You're going to be a great teacher, honey. You will be so good at teaching people how to defeat boggarts.
Yeah.
Shakespeare is like most people's boggart, right?
People's boggart.
Yeah.
Like academia flavored boggart.
Does academia taste like old books?
Depends.
It tastes like depends. Ooh, that's an interesting idea. If Neil Gaiman had directed or written one of the screenplays. I love his aesthetic. I think he has a similar feel to what Quarlon's trying to do in this third movie, but like Neil Gaiman clearly deals with some kind of depression, so like the darkness would come in a really honest way. I think this movie would have been a good one. This story would have been a good one for him to handle. He writes about death a lot, so. I love that Neville's able to pull off a spell on his first try with Lupin teaching him.
It shows he has all this wonderful potential.
Yeah.
No one's giving him a chance.
Yeah.
Amazing acting by
Alan Rickman is a troop. He's a trooper. Here's my issue with putting roller skates on a spider. If that spider learns how to use those roller skates, you're in even more trouble.
It's faster now.
Yeah. If it just learns to keep its legs still and get a push. I feel like the things that they're afraid of are a nice reminder that these kids are all still kids. Because they're afraid of very literal things.
Mm-hmm.
That's a creepy ass Jack in the Box.
It is, yeah.
This is not funny.
Thanks for him.
Oh, that's a Jason C. Drake bringing up all the best points. That's such a good point. That
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, that is a great
the thing
point.
he is the most afraid of in his whole life is Snape, and he still goes to his class. Would he get in more trouble with Snape if he didn't go to class, though?
There
Just
really
thought.
isn't. Is there like official truancy policy at Hogwarts?
It doesn't seem like it.
It doesn't, because people skive off all the time.
There are no rules in Hogwarts. It's just don't make Filch or Snape angry. It's like Harry brought one of Dudley's old hoodies to school with him. Because that hoodie is like 2 sizes too big. She just has to follow the rules, man. It's true, you don't want to piss off McGonagall, but her punishment will still be within what's normally allowed. You know, she's not going to threaten to murder your toad just because she thinks you'll fail her class. Emma, to answer your question why they're always wearing muggle clothes at Hogwarts in the movies, at least in my opinion, I think it's because it's because of Alfonso Cuarón. He kind of set this precedent of like bringing the movies a bit more into a realistic looking world. Like Chris Columbus's movies are still very much like they're Christmas movies. It's a magical fantasy world that we don't really expect to place ourselves in. But Cuarón sort of started this trend of like, and you know, it made sense because we were growing up with the movies of like, let's make it look more real. And so like, you know, kids still wear their school robes every now and then, but
it's like the same thing Christopher Nolan did.
Yeah. I think around this time, kind of started to see that trend of like, let's start imagining these fantasy worlds as real. I think it worked. I don't have any problem with them wearing normal clothes. I think it makes more sense regarding the statute of secrecy that they would wear muggle clothes. Because, like, the first book talks about how, like, McGonagall says they're not even trying to wear normal, like, muggle clothes. They're just out wearing brightly colored robes. So, like, they should be wearing muggle clothes. At school, like, yeah, they should be wearing their robes because they're students and they need to wear their uniform. Even though, well, I don't know. Now that I'm an adult, my opinion on school uniforms has changed. Small moment of Sir Cadogan in the background. That's another thing that I love about Book 3 that just gets completely cut.
Oh my god, I'm so glad it's cut.
It's everything to do with Sir Cadogan. Yeah, he's annoying, but like he is a comic representation of the worst parts of being a Gryffindor.
Yeah.
Or at least the worst stereotypes of being a Gryffindor. There's that kid again. He's just right up front next to Percy. He's just trying to be head boy. Sir Cadogan again.
George or Fred looks like he's gonna be enhancing.
The hair in this movie is not great. The hair in the 4th movie gets worse. I never noticed before how gross Michael Gambon's hands are.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. They're like really dirty and skeletal, and his fingernails were really long and unclean.
Do you think that's for the part, or do you think that's just him?
I mean, the skeletal aspect of his hands.
No, I
certainly
mean
is
the
his,
dirty, unkempt.
I mean, the dirty, I'm sure, is. This movie just like clips along. You know what I realized? I don't know how Sir Cadogan is actually pronounced. I just know that that's how Jim Dale says it. It's Cadogan.
Yeah, I don't know.
I've heard other people saying like Cadogan, Cadawan, Cadogan. Like it's probably a Welsh name, I like it at least.
Yeah.
So it'd probably be pronounced really weirdly. Cadogan. There's anyone watching, the 9 of you. If any of you are Welsh, let me know. Oh, fear in the castle. Go suck souls. Alan Rickman knows how to work a cape.
Yeah. Yeah. Every movement of his is choreographed in a perfect way.
Oh, yeah. R.I.P. I feel like wizards care about staying hidden, but not.
The ceiling is so beautiful.
Mm-hmm. I don't know what that.
Looks like you're seeing another galaxy, like
Yeah, but
really far up.
if the ceiling is supposed to reflect the night sky,
I know.
you can't see that.
Right.
You can
Yeah.
see the Milky Way for sure, but not, a zoomed out spiral shot from
It doesn't
billions
say
of light
it
years
looks
away.
like how the night sky looks to us. It's a reflection of the night sky that is in the sky. We
Yeah.
just can't see it without.
But not our night
magic.
sky.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying maybe it's open to interpretation.
It could be. Get ready. Arguably the most iconic line in all the movies. Harry asks that question the most polite way possible, and Snape is still mad at him for asking about it. 94. Oh man, that'd be the coolest idea if they recreated Hogwarts fully in Scotland
Oh, shut up.
with a train to it.
Oh my god.
That'd be the coolest thing on earth.
I think we would pay any amount of money to do that.
Full amount.
Yeah.
All the monies.
Like spend a night in a dormitory kind of thing. There's this place
Give them me.
in like Bulgaria
I've seen
that
that.
is trying to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get ready for the great character assassination of Ronald Weasley. No. It's not what Ron is supposed to say. It's in that moment in the book, Ron says,
I know.
yeah,
You asked a question.
yeah.
Yeah.
Don't ask a question if you don't want her to answer it. 194 will be treated as equally guilty. Oh, Malfoy sent him a love note. Bum, 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 bum. I like the Quidditch scenes. Can't help it. It's like I recognize that they might not be strictly necessary,
I like
at least for as long as they are. Is it?
Wouldn't they
I don't
help her at
remember
that
now.
point? Like, who's ever
I don't know.
is like,
Quidditch.
they step in. Her broom's on fire.
Quidditch is a brutal game. And the snitch literally just electrocuted that kid. Which,
Of
I
course
just
it's a
realized now,
Hufflepuff.
that is meant to be Cedric Diggory. Because that was Hufflepuff's seeker.
Shit, that is supposed to be
Cedric Diggory just got electrocuted Also, I'm pretty sure it's not Hufflepuff playing in this first match.
Doesn't seem right. I don't know.
Or is it? Because in book 4, Cedric corrects his dad that, like, Cedric didn't fairly beat Harry. But I don't remember. I think it is Hufflepuff, maybe. Because this is the only game where Harry fails this year. He falls off of his broom because of the Dementors. Or, as a kid that I went to elementary school with, once called them Demonators.
You know, they're not wrong.
There's no A in between the N and T. He was wrong. They're not called Demonators.
They are.
The Horcruxes in the Deathly Hallows book were a better metaphor for depression than the Dementors. The only argument that I think I would make with that is you can take a Horcrux off of you, get it away from you, be permanently fine forever. Depression is not that way.
Oh, shucks.
Okay, it was Hufflepuff. Thank you. I should have remembered. You know.
Honey, it's okay.
I just, I feel like, thankfully not with my community, but like other theory-based Harry Potter YouTube channels, like in comments, people generally expect them to be experts and have all the answers always. It's like, I can't do that.
No, you've never set yourself up
No.
to be that in people's eyes.
No.
So I'm glad that people are understanding that you're human and you know you have a full-time job
And a
it's
child.
Not this. Yeah, and a child.
Everything Hermione wears, I would wear.
I didn't even pay attention to her outfit.
She's got like a red and blue striped sweater. Demonators. Why does he have a cane?
Like nobody takes it out of him.
Yeah. They make him look like very seriously ill.
You know what's funny?
He looks like he belongs in the hospital.
He does, for sure. He doesn't look quite so old to me now.
No.
You know? Like when I first saw this, I was like, wow, he's so old. And now I'm like, oh.
Yeah, but I feel like they cast David Thewlis to be an age that would be appropriate for Lupin, whereas like Alan Rickman, Snape is meant to be the same age as Lupin. Alan Rickman's like 20 years older than him.
He is believably Harry's parents' age.
Yeah.
Harry's parents had him so young that
Yeah,
David Thewlis
like
is still
they were
too old.
Well, they were 21 when Harry died.
Yeah.
So like
When Harry
they
was
would
born
be No, they were 21 when they died.
not when Harry died, when they
Oh, did I say when Harry
Yeah.
died? Sorry, my bad. So like David Thewlis looks 35 here.
I used to think like,
So
oh,
they
he's
would
like
be
50.
I think when you're a kid you think all teachers are like 50.
Yeah.
And now that we're the age that we are and we have friends that are teachers, it's like, wait, did I have teachers that were 25? Did I have teachers that
Yeah.
were under 30?
Oh, no.
I don't know if I trust some of my friends with Marco's education.
Depends on the friend.
That's true. You know who you are. You're not watching this. Oh, I'm Harry Potter. I forgot about footprints in the snow. I'm going to walk
That was
right
an
towards these
extremely
people
good
who are
guess
looking
that
at the
they made.
footprints.
Right, and grabbing each arm. Like,
Yeah,
they're extremely
seriously.
good guessers that they managed to get him.
Also, like, I don't think Harry has told them about the invisibility cloak. So Ron's a snitch. Ron be snitching.
Have you told them how you're teaching Margot to say snitches get stitches?
It's our national no snitching policy.
You should not be teaching her that.
Snitches get stitches.
She's gonna tell someone at school.
And it's going to be the funniest shit ever. I've always wondered how Fred and George figured that out.
Yeah, really.
How did they figure out that
know.
exact phrase? My theory is that the map is sentient enough that it can tell what the person wants to do with it. And so, like, the map can sense a mischief maker and is like, say this to open me.
Maybe.
I mean, obvious. Dumbledore. In terms of the type of emotions Harry went through while under its influence. Yeah, I think I've talked about this in whatever chapter it is when Harry's on the train. I think the way that Harry experiences the Dementors, it's kind of more like he's having a panic attack.
For sure.
But I think the Dementors themselves, as a literary device, represent depression. Not like they give people depression, but they themselves, as a piece of literature, symbolize depression. But yeah, I think Harry more so has a panic attack of sorts. And Ginny. Be more clumsy, Harry Potter. Oh man, I don't know if I'm sure I have, but I haven't taken notice. Since we've been to the parks, like, they got Honeydukes exactly right in the parks. I'm not surprised. Also, Harry just stole Neville's lollipop. What a
Harry's
dick!
kind of a jerk sometimes.
I mean, he's a jock. Twins are very magically talented. Even Hermione compliments their magic when they open the joke shop. Yeah, definitely. No doubting the twins' skill. It just seems like a really strange phrase to just stumble upon. I solemnly swear that I'm up to no good. It could be. It could be coincidence. It just seems like it would have taken them a long time. Poor Neville. Can't even keep his lollipop. Bye, Harry. Feel free to go to sleep anytime you need to, honey. No, I don't want you to leave. I just thought I saw you getting tired.
I am.
This movie's going to be on until 12:30.
Oh man.
Yeah. You don't have to suffer tomorrow because of my choice.
It's just so nice to spend time in this world, you know?
Yeah. Harry. I just remembered that this movie has the worst moment of acting in the entire series.
I know, I immediately thought of that when he took the cloak off. I was like, oh, damn, it's coming.
Yeah. Soon. I think they probably went through days of figuring out the password for the map. I think the map may have guided them a bit, just because, like, when Snape tries to figure out the map, it is able to recognize who he is and insult him specifically. And clearly, I assume the Marauders put that protection in because he was trying to figure that out when they were still in school. They knew and hated Snape then. But, it's a smart map. If it can tell that you want to use it for nefarious purposes, it'll probably be like, hey, bud, here's a clue to figure out how to open me. I never even thought about that Harry has to be super, super strong to do all the stuff that he did to Draco and Crabbe and Goyle. To, drag them by their legs and everything. Does anyone else hate the Shrunken Heads? I can't stand the Shrunken Heads. Jess just raised her hand. I think it's the weirdest choice that Corwin made. I don't understand it. And also, it's a little problematic. Oh, sure. Let's just
How does
cut
Bella
Hagrid and
Martell
Flitwick out of
not
this.
know who Sirius Black killed?
Yeah, she should.
She should.
I think in the books she does.
Is it not widely publicized who his victim was?
No, I think it is.
Yeah, I thought
In
so.
the books, this conversation happens in the pub around a table, them just like chatting, not like this urgent conversation about how to solve this problem.
Right.
It's just like, oh, whatever. Sirius Black, James Potter's best friend. It's the worst moment of acting, but it's one of my most common quotes. It's also my favorite GIF.
Second jerk move of Fox.
Yeah, it just knocks over all those little people that are just trying to spread some holiday cheer. It's my favorite GIF too. The one that like does the bad lip reading. Is it because I'm fat? He's also so bad at like I know he's 14, 15 when filming this. He's just so bad at fake crying. Here it comes. It was a friend. I'm gonna kill him. Rah!
I don't like how he grits his teeth.
He's like,
Mouth open.
it's like that David after the dentist video. When the kid just stands up and sings, Rah! I do like that they give the tree, the Whomping Willow, like some opinions. So like it can shake the snow off of itself. Love you.
Love you too.
I'm allowed to say that I love my wife on camera.
I know. I'm sorry.
She gets embarrassed. It's okay. No, he doesn't have any happy memories, Lupin. His life's been shit.
Also, Lupin, how do you have any memories?
Right?
No, I know.
Like he's able
he had
to
some
he's
fun.
able to cast a full body Patronus. He just chooses not to. So he clearly has happy enough memories
He does
to do
when
it.
he's with the Marauders.
Hermione's my aesthetic, but let's be honest, Lupin is also my aesthetic. Just
Your sweater
Just
that you
pre-grandpa.
wore today, like the cardigan, is
Yeah.
totally Lupin.
oh yeah, pre-grandpa. Grandpa ahead of his time.
But like 1940s grandpa.
Yeah.
Olive patches.
Like Professor Grandpa. That's the look.
But with tapered pants, not wide leg pants.
Yeah. Skinny pants. It's been to my scrotum. It's been. Snitches get seekers. I like that. Yeah, I guess you could look at Quaron for that moment of acting from Daniel Radcliffe. I just also worried that that's the best he could give at that time. You know, so Quaron was like, okay, give me soft on the first he was their friend, and then intense on the second one, and Daniel Radcliffe was just like, that's all I got.
I was just thinking.
It was a friend.
Always blame the child actor, and then it made me think of that vine where it's like, there's only one thing worse than a rapist.
A child.
A child.
I want David Thewlis to narrate the audiobooks. He's got a great voice. Here's my question. Well, no, I just answered it in my head. I was going to say, why does a Patronus work on a Boggart? But a Patronus doesn't only work on Dementors. It's just the strongest protective spell available to a wizard. So it's the only spell that works on a Dementor, not that it only works on Dementors. Socially up Spider-Man. I'm so glad you had a teacher like Lupin. I hope that everyone has at least one teacher like Lupin in their life.
I think Margot has early memories like that.
That's my question. Like he could have invented that in his brain.
Yeah.
Not that doesn't work, but it's just like that's because they died when he was 18 months old.
Yeah.
I don't have any memories from like before 6.
I have memories from when I was like Margot's age.
I know. I've always been jealous of you.
Only a few.
Yeah, but still. Ron's sweater's so ugly.
I don't hate it.
I think Crookshanks is cute, and they clearly put extensions on that cat's fur to make it look ratty.
I didn't even know that.
They just blow right through. No talk about Buckbeak being on trial for anything until this moment right here. There's been no mention of it. Quaron just like skips so much stuff, and then it's just like, we'll catch up later. Oh man, to have all like Lupins and Umbrages is such a wide swing to go back and forth from. Yeah, I guess that's a good point. Memories don't have to be real to produce a Patronus. You can. So I think so long as it creates the feeling in you strong enough to produce a Patronus, you can convince yourself of anything. He's such a good friend. His best friend wakes up in his sleep talking about tap dancing spiders, and he's like, "Yeah, man, I support you." Advanced arithmancy.
Do ghosts show up on the map?
I don't remember. I need to keep an eye out. Destroyed. Read the bottom comment. Especially no Spider-Man. If a Dementor went up to me, I'd just be like, well, at least I'll get a kiss before I'm basically branded.
Oh no, it doesn't look like it has lips.
No, it's just a hole. It says it's just a hole where the mouth
that'd
is supposed to be.
pleasant.
Yeah. It's not a
worth
kiss.
it. Not worth it, guy.
That's a chomp. You're getting chomped.
At least if I was kissed by a Dementor, people would understand why I'm dead inside.
I've got no comeback for that. I can't say anything to that. Get ready for Sassy Harry. Sleepwalking. He's so quick with that. I'm mad that they cut the Runel Waslieb stuff out of book 6. Out of the 6th movie. Even a slimy mouth hole kiss. It's like if you cut a hole out of a watermelon and then warmed it up. And then stuck that on your face.
That is so gross.
It's just a hot watermelon kiss.
Ew.
Show me your secrets. That was Edie. No, I'm not normal. It's true. I tell you guys that all the time. I like that I'm not normal. You know what? Say what you will about Snape. He has a lot of suspicions, but if he doesn't have proof, he usually doesn't act on it, so he at least follows a certain kind of moral code.
So what, he's just gonna walk in the dark?
He's Snape. He is the dark.
I remember when, like, right around the time that book 5 was coming out, there were these books called the Unauthorized Guide to Harry Potter.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember one theory that it proposed was that maybe Snape is actually a bat.
So, like, he's a vampire that can turn into a bat?
Kinda, yeah.
Or just he is a bat that's suddenly become a human
No.
that is trying to figure out how to be a human now.
It was just like he can see in the dark. His cloak looks like wings. I was like, I don't know, guys. I'm only 14, but I don't know.
I don't think this is right.
He's a bat.
These people have me pinned. They say I'm not normal, but I'm also not normal.
It's Gwen.
Gwen Stacy from the comic books.
Oh, right.
Yeah, Spider-Man.
Right, of course.
Yeah. It's Spider-Man.
No, I'm now on the same page. It just took me a little bit.
Yeah. I have had Harry Potter comment on my videos before.
The Harry Potter?
Harry Potter himself.
What did he say? Was he a jerk?
I don't remember. I've also had Professor Snape comment on my videos.
Was he a jerk?
Surprisingly kind, given all the hate that I laid on him this season. Picture 19 years after the movie ended, someone photoshopping how the actors look then into the epilogue scene. I feel like people have tried to do that. Snape has his own morals. He sees himself as the good guy. Everyone thinks they're the good guy, except Voldemort. Voldemort knows he's evil, and he loves it.
You think?
Yeah, I definitely think so. I think Voldemort revels in his evil. That's a good point, Wellington. Why didn't Remus just look at the map right now and see Peter? Be like, ah! Ron, let me see your rat!
Harry. Evie. Sorry. Evie. Stop.
Oh, Emma, that's a great idea. The third book, Lupin's point of view.
Oh my god, yeah, for real.
It'd be so fascinating to get perspective from when he's sick, you know? Wait, how did I never notice this before?
You never noticed that before?
I don't remember it. I think because I've always been anticipating this. Like, Harry's actually seeing into the crystal ball there. All right, guys. Who performed this better, me or Emma Thompson? The meeting I did was She's such a good actor. Oh, book 6 from Draco's point of view would be really cool too. You gotta go to bed.
Yeah.
All right. I love you.
I love you.
Everyone say goodnight to Jess.
Good night, everyone.
Thanks for joining us, honey.
Thank you for being wonderful to Kevin.
Thank you. Love you, honey.
Love you too.
Sleep well. The fifth movie cut out so much, man. Oh, shoot. I'm pulling off the my headphones too much. I turned the camera a little bit. All right, back to just me. Back to less interesting. All right. Fifth movie cut so much out. The fifth movie is another hack job. Where's my brightness on this computer? There it is. Book 2 from Dobby's point of view would be pretty cool. It's just a lot of thoughts about Harry. That'd be a fun exercise to try to figure out who from each book would have the most interesting perspective. So like book 4 from Cedric's point of view would be pretty cool. Book 7 from Hermione's point of view, even though we do get a good amount of her already. That felt good. What if like that's the moment Ron fully falls when he sees Hermione punch Malfoy? Because like in the previous 2 books, he's the one that's been trying to fight people physically. And then she's just like, oh, all right. Pew, pew. I'm so glad you guys were able to hear Jess. I wasn't sure that you'd be able to with just the iPhone microphone. But yeah, I'm glad it worked out. She's really smart. She's really inquisitive and intuitive and curious, and the way her brain works is really fascinating. So she provided good insight, and she made me more interesting. Let's just be honest. Oh no, here comes Leon. Yeah, I wonder if Tom Felton's head did actually hit the rock when he got punched. Could have. So sorry. I forgot about the microphone again. Just real quick. My bad, you guys. I keep forgetting. It's funny how in the movie they needed to create a reason for them to look out the window, but in the book there's no indication given that something is like trying to signal their attention from outside. Why is Hagrid's hut so small for him? Like, where's his bed? Where's his kitchen? That man needs a bigger house. He needs to magic himself a bigger house. There's so much, like, just silent stuff. Like, just scenes of silence happening in this movie. I feel like there's, like, nothing to talk about. So I'm sorry that if I get a little boring, you guys. Also, my ear's starting to hurt from my headphone being in my ear for an hour plus now. Like an hour and a half. Is there still an hour of this movie left? Like 50 minutes? Math. Why are tents bigger on the inside, but not huts? Undetectable extension charms. That's why. Time Lord technology. Pretty sure Scabbers is supposed to be like fighting to get away right now, Ron. That executioner took a long time for what was mostly just an anger swing. Aw, third wheel Harry. Give the most awkward third wheel hug in existence. Harry's just a little awkward boy. Yeah, we talked about the wibbly wobbly timey wimey stuff towards the end. I don't know if you guys remember. What did you think of my time travel theories? That's a huge dog. Also, the CGI is not the worst. Ah. Oh, it is an in defense of Hermione moment. Why didn't I think of that? She hugs him. It's not in the book, though. That's what we got to remember on this channel. We are a book canon channel, not movie canon. Come on, Harry. Don't look at something that's coming your way and then not move. Harry, clueless Potter. You guys want a live performance of the In Defense of Hermione song? Well, I can't because it's usually me singing all four harmonies. In Defense of Hermione. That's the bass one. I re-record that every time, just because I can never remember the last video that I used that segment on. So. My wife is texting me. For my strength times 10. Honestly, wish Luna and Harry had gotten together in the last book. That was my favorite relationship in the whole series. I've had thoughts about that before, and I'm struggling to remember them right now because it's late for me. I don't know. I think Harry gets exhausted by Luna sometimes because Harry is very much so focused on the problem, and Luna is like spacey wasty. I think they make good friends because they're good counters to each other, and they kind of remind each other of things that they need to focus on. But as far as like an actual relationship goes, like the way that Harry and Ginny are both like, let's focus, let's get this shit done. I think that's why they work together so well. Oh, Gary Oldman, such a good actor. And now let's watch how they just freaking rush through this whole thing and how it's not a good explanation of what happens. Dude, they really make Sirius look scary in this. It's kind of like if you put this Sirius next to how he looks in the next movie, totally different. Like night and day, Gary Oldman doesn't look the same. To be fair, Gary Oldman never looks the same in any of his movies. I don't know how that man does it. Back to Harry and Luna, though. Like, that's generally the same argument I use of, like, why Harry and Hermione don't really make sense. Like, in a literary standpoint, sure, there's the whole, like, hero gets the girl, blah, blah, whatever. That's boring and tried and old and not interesting. But, like, Harry and Hermione don't really have that kind of, like, they're, like, they're more like a business partnership relationship. Like, Hermione doesn't get anything from Harry. Hermione doesn't need anything that Harry has. Like, Harry can offer Hermione nothing, really. Harry can offer Ginny a level of understanding that no one else can. There are things that Harry's been through that Hermione will never understand. But Hermione and Ron have been through the exact same things, and there's no one else that will understand the exact same things that they do. Expelliarmus is definitely overused in the movies. Also, like, eventually in the movies, Expelliarmus became something that like, blows the person away and not just, like, makes you steal their wand. Harry's not Master of the Elder Wand yet. Currently, Dumbledore is still the Master of the Elder Wand. So, no, Remus is Master of the Elder Wand. The second book is what makes Ginny refer. Exactly. Because Ginny is the only other person besides Quirrell who understands exactly what Harry's been through, because she's the only other person who has had Voldemort inside her mind and has been truly and rightly possessed. Harry definitely overdid it with that spell there. However, it's another moment of the movies making a choice that the books did better, where, like, all three of them cast Expelliarmus at Snape, and that's why he gets knocked out. Not just that Harry does a really strong one. Yeah, see, guys, they speed through this so fast. And I understand, like, it's the movie, it's building to a climax, not the climax, it's building to a climax. So they're trying to make sure they keep the pace, but, like, they do such a bad job of explaining everything here because they're just speeding through all the information, and it's kind of complicated. So, that's my opinion. Oh man, Spider-Man, don't even worry. There are like, yeah, so many different people have so many different opinions and ships and theories and OTPs, and it's like, especially with like the fan fiction shipping that goes on, like the Draco Harry fan shipping and the Draco Hermione, like I have a big problem with the Hermione shipping. Cat, stop. So don't worry, like that's why we're rereading the series together one chapter at a time, so that we can kind of try to clear our heads of all the other information and just focus on what's right in front of us at that time. And like use information from outside to develop theories, but at least we're going back to the source material first and not just inventing ideas in our head. Hello, Sam Gore. Thank you for joining us. We're a good ways through the movie, but thanks for joining us. Everyone's free to come and go as they please. Anyone, if you haven't yet, let me know where you are watching from, so that we can see how global we are right now. I am on the West Coast in Southern California, and that's as detailed as I'm going to be. Some of you probably know where I am, but it's all good. Yeah, let me see if I can find a time stamp for you, Sam. Wellington, you've also been pretty good at that too, so feel free to jump in if you've got it. I have 1:37 right now, 1 hour 37. Yeah, hour 37 and about 7, 8, 9 seconds. All right, back to it. Emma in Maryland, Flawed One near Houston. That's cool. 13702. Is that your zip code? You gonna make me look that up? Oh no, that's the timestamp. My bad. YK, I forgot. You said you're in Israel, right? Israel? Sam, I feel like I remember you from the last stream. Are you in England somewhere? In the UK somewhere? Melanated Gemini in Long Beach, representing Southern California. What up? Hi, Evie. Yeah, Israel. Thank you. Super cool. We have Israel. We have at least one Australia. We've got some California, some Texas, some Maryland, Santa Cruz. Yeah, I thought so. As soon as you said cheers, Sam, I was like, okay, I'm pretty sure this person is in England. Because I thought I recognized the name, but then confirmed. Evie, stop it. Get down. Get down, please. I was right. Like watching the stuff that's going on in the background while Harry and Sirius are talking. It's like good on those actors for just, finding stuff to do. Eventually they get pretty still though. You always remember your first time entering Hogwarts. It's true. Especially if you've been to the parks. Dude, Spider-Man, so true. Draco and Hermione, an emotionally abusive relationship waiting to happen. For sure. Like, I just don't... The people who ship Draco and Hermione, it's problematic. Just because... I don't know. I don't have the brain space to get into why it's problematic right now, exactly, but... See, here's my problem. One of those people should have remembered Petrificus Totalis, and I don't know if that would have prevented Pettigrew from turning into a rat, but might have. It's probably your best chance. Like, one of those kids should have remembered somehow. Oh, man. The werewolf is so gross looking. I'm glad they didn't just make him look like a normal wolf, obviously. Like, he's so gross looking, though. Evie. For anyone who doesn't know, this is my cat, Evie. She's blind. Evie is short for Minerva, yes, named after Professor McGonagall. And also, I don't remember what else. Snape is actually acting like a real hero here. For once, thank goodness, actually protecting these kids. Even though that does not happen in the book. Snape does not say, "Get behind me, I'll take care of you." Snape just encounters Harry and Lupin, or not Lupin, Harry and Sirius and Hermione at the lake. And Ron with his leg broken somewhere else. Passed out somewhere else, I think. Right? Yeah, Snape is not there to protect those kids. I kind of like the choice to have him protect them, and also kind of don't. So, you know. Redemptive moment for Alan Rickman's Snape, love it. Redemptive moment for book Snape, don't care. See you, Sam. Have a good day at school. Like how frail Lupin looks as a werewolf, but you know he could still rip to shreds. Oh, totally. Like, he definitely is not the healthiest looking werewolf, but still strong as fuck. Where is Sirius going? Like, you injured, bud. Not much you can do. Maybe just lay low for a minute. Evie. Sorry, guys. I keep tugging the camera by moving my head. It's freaking this thing. You desperate cat. Excuse me. Don't keep meowing, please. You're interrupting. How does lycanthropy transfer? Because shouldn't Sirius have become a werewolf after being scratched? Yeah, and then Wellington answered it. I think it is only bites, specifically. Because Bill gets scratched and doesn't become a werewolf. He just... I think it's probably a joke, but apparently develops a taste for raw meat. Yo! For the in and out comment, Melanated Gemini. Sorry, I didn't explain that. Yeah, my wife and my daughter and I were out. We went to Goodwill tonight just for fun, just to see if we could find any treasures. And there's an In-N-Out nearby, and you know how it is when you're like within a 1 mile radius of In-N-Out, you can smell it. And we were like, oh, that's what we're doing for dinner tonight. I used to work at In-N-Out like 5 years ago. Worked there for like a year. It was actually a really, really good job. Really wonderful job. So here's the thing. Like, Sirius's soul is like exiting his body. It's like well outside his mouth right there. He is right, like he is proper soulless at that point. It is floating out of his body, out of his mouth. So it seems a little late. Also, a Dementor is supposed to be like inches from kissing Harry when this Patronus shows up. So, wish they'd shown that. That would be cool and scary as shit. I do love me some KFC too. If I had to pick a fast food chicken restaurant, it's KFC for sure. I love KFC's sauces. Good night, Emma. Thank you for doing this for as long as you could. I know it's a really late stream. Oh, frick. Is it frozen, you guys? I'm sorry. I don't know if you can still see me or hear me. Maybe it's just on my computer. I'll reload it and see if it changes. Serving me an ad. Yeah, good night, Emma. Thank you for joining us. Is it frozen, you guys? I gotta ask you in the comments. You can hear me. Okay. That's good. Can you see me? So is the screen's frozen, but you guys can still hear me? I mean, please screenshot and start making memes out of me, you guys. Please do it. Uh, Flawed One, you said you were near Houston, right? There's an In-N-Out in Dallas, I think? In-N-Out is in Texas, but I know Texas is massive. In-N-Out actually expanded into Texas when I worked there. So if you're ever in one of the other major cities in Texas, give it a try. I've never tried Whataburger, but I have heard really good things about it, and I've wanted to try. Frozen, but you can hear. All right. Sorry, guys. Don't know how to fix that without stopping the stream, and I'm not going to do that. So, whatever. You know, I'm not that interesting to look at. We're watching the movie, right? Dumbledore in the movie is so much more obvious that he's talking about time travel than in the book. Meanwhile, Harry's just like, what the fuck are you talking about? Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if In-N-Out is coming to Houston soon. It's like Houston is a huge city. So it's just the difficulty with In-N-Out is every In-N-Out store has to be within a 12-hour drive of a distribution center just because In-N-Out really like focuses very heavily on fresh quality products, especially fresh quality produce and meat. So you don't want to have to. In-N-Out food is never frozen, so like it needs to be within driving distance to be good quality. Looks like you've had an intense but satisfying fart. It does look like that. I'm so sorry, guys. I don't know what to do. I'm not good at this live streaming thing. Plus, I'm doing it so the stream right here is on my phone, and then I'm looking over here at my computer, and I don't know how to like manage the stream on my computer. Maybe I can figure it out. Let's see. Edit video. I hope that doesn't stop it. Uh-oh. It's live right now, so. I don't know if anything that I'm doing is working, you guys. So let me go back to my stream and see if anything changed. No, still frozen face. All right, there's not much movie left, you guys. I'm so sorry. But you got this funny face out of it. Like I said earlier, my Wi-Fi has just been nearly sketchy lately. I think AT&T made some changes in it. So, yeah, I wasn't gonna try to fiddle with it on my phone for sure. The the way that YouTube's live streaming is set up is weird. So like if I wanted to if I want to set up a live stream a few days in advance, I have to set it up on the device I'm going to be streaming from. I can't like set the scheduled live to go on my computer and then try to live stream on my phone later. It just doesn't work that way for some weird reason. Technology reason. When did Albus figure out to use time travel? Day before this, a week? I wonder. Like, I'm sure it's something he could have researched at one point. But it's clear that he has used it before, the way he talks about it. So. Oh, man. second yawn of the night. It's a good thing this movie's getting done. I'm getting tired, you guys. I gotta work in the morning. Oh. Immaturity is always welcome here. You guys know that. Our humor is not always the most the most refined. That's right, Hermione. Awful things do happen to wizards who meddle with time. In two different forms of time travel. I'm actually, like, I think that's one of the theories, I guess you could call it a theory, that I'm proudest of. Our time travel theory. Um, I think what I researched and was able to come up with, I think, makes a fair amount of sense. And I think has a fair amount of support from book canon, and if you include Cursed Child, from that as well. In addition to, where was I going with that? In addition to Pottermore, the support that Pottermore gives as well. Yeah, I think, I'm just really proud of that theory. Disappointed that video is not getting more views, but, that's the way it is. Views on my videos have actually been trending downward lately, which I don't really worry myself about too much. I'm not doing this channel to try to get millions and millions of viewers and millions of views. But yeah. It is a bit worrisome that my videos are slowly starting to get fewer views than normal. Don't quite know why, but we'll see. I'm wondering if, like, maybe there's something to viewership being higher at the, like, early to middle parts of a book and then it tapering off as we get towards the end. Maybe discussions get more difficult towards the end of books. I know certainly some of the later chapters, when it's just like plot moving forward in the chapter and there's not a lot of deep moments to discuss, it does get difficult. Like the I don't remember what chapter it is, but there's a chapter that we just discussed the other week towards the end of Prisoner of Azkaban that's literally like 9 pages long. And I was like, man. Oh, that's the chapter where I'm laying on the couch therapizing myself. We're just like, oh man, what am I going to talk about in this chapter? I don't know. I think Dumbledore and Hagrid are great drinking buddies. I feel like they're almost best friends. Except, like, Hagrid has almost a, like, Dobby-style view of Dumbledore. Like, Hagrid is to Dumbledore as Dobby is to Harry. Guys, don't just stand there frozen. Hermione's just standing there with her hands up in the air like a criminal. See, the movie makes me think that this Dumbledore that's there in the hut is, like, also from the future. Because this Dumbledore knew to create a distraction while Harry and Hermione got Buckbeak away. Like, it makes it seem that way, that this is not this Dumbledore's first time through this rodeo, somehow. Views on videos in a series always taper off towards the end just because not everybody's... That's true, and I kind of figured that's what was happening. It's just... I try not to focus too much on that stuff, just because, like I said, I'm not here to try to grow any kind of massive community. I'm not here to try to make this, like, even a paying gig in any serious kind of way. Like, I make maybe, like, $2 over the lifetime of a video, so I'm not trying to make any kind of money or anything off of this. I'm here because I love it, and I'm here because you guys have helped me to craft this wonderful little community. And I just cannot say it enough how thankful I am for all of you. Maybe your channel is getting less views because the crimes of Grindelwald and J.K. Rowling are slowly putting people off Harry Potter. That's another good theory. Oh, YK, just so you know, yes, it is stuck. Other people can hear me, but not see me. Yeah, but that's another good theory. I think, fervor for the universe might just be tapering off a little bit, just because J.K. Rowling is kind of alienating her audience. Just with, not really making very smart choices when it comes to representation within the actual canon of what she's writing. But, preferring to sprinkle in representation in interviews and on Twitter instead of actually writing it in a script. I tried to hold my opinions on those things because I don't feel like I feel like myself as a, straight white heterosexual cisgendered man, my opinion is not valuable to those conversations. Like, I can say nothing of any more interest than someone who is actually underrepresented in her universe. So I just try to boost the voices of people who are belonging to those groups. But yeah, I think she's struggling to represent those people in a meaningful way. Well, thank you, Flawed One. I don't want to just be another Super Carlin Brothers or another just Seamus Gorman or those kinds of things. And I also don't want to just be another like Harry Potter. Let me know if you guys can hear me, okay? Okay, am I back? I'm wondering if it's just the... Can you guys hear me again? Please tell me you can hear me. Okay. Yeah, we had some people leave there while it went out. Okay. Thank goodness. All right. Thanks for sticking around. Those of you that did, that was... I panicked there a little bit. All right. I'll try to figure out something better with the Wi-Fi, you guys. I'm wondering if maybe next time I need to try to do this, do need to try to stream on my laptop, even though it'll be less good, but then I won't have multiple devices using the Wi-Fi signal and eating it up. Just because I pay as little for Wi-Fi as I can, because I'm not made of money, and internet can be expensive if you're more than 1 year into a plan with a company. Audio's back. Audio's all that we had before. Don't remember what I was talking about. I think I was talking about J.K. Rowling being inept at representation. I've said pretty much all I needed to. Doesn't make any sense to me how Hogwarts students used to poop on the floor when chamber pots have existed for hundreds of years. Yeah, I think there's something on Pottermore too that says wizards just used to poop in their pants and just get rid of it instantly with magic. Yeah, poop's cleared out with spells. Yeah, they just poop themselves and then get rid of it with magic. It was just gross. Fuck. You guys, I'm so sorry that it's having so much trouble. Don't really know how to fix this. I don't want to mess with it and ruin the stream. Video's not working anyway, so I might turn it around and try to see if there's anything I can do. I wonder if switching the way the camera's looking would change it. Nope. Just reversed it. That's all. It says it's still going. So... Share, enable flash, mute microphone. Yeah, I don't really have any... I think the only way to solve this video problem would be to stop the stream and start a new one, but the movie's almost over, so sorry guys. I will try to figure this out better for next time. That's a bummer. Yeah, it's pretty great that Harry is his own hero. The part coming up where he says like, I was able to do it because I knew that I had already done it, and he asks, "Does that make sense?" I don't understand how Hermione doesn't understand that, because I think that makes perfect sense. And also, Hermione is the time travel expert. Why does she not understand? See, because like Harry gained confidence that he'd be able to, so that's all he needed to get over it. Because like, as soon as he realized, wait, I have time traveled, so that means that this has already happened. So, like, he got the confidence to just do it. That's what happened. Also, in the book, Harry, Hermione, and Sirius do not ride on Buckbeak together. Sirius leaves on Buckbeak by himself. Harry and Hermione run to the hospital wing from the tower. Or no, from Flitwick's office. Excuse me. Hogwarts, an incomplete and unreliable guide, should not be canon. It's incomplete and unreliable. Yeah, but those extra, like, I loved reading those. Those were fun reads. Um, I think all that information came from Pottermore, and at least for me, like for the purposes of our channel, I consider Pottermore canon. Um, so that's where I am on that. Why didn't she use the Lohomora? Because it wouldn't have been as visually interesting, and that's what Alfonso Cuarón is worried about. Yeah, that's true. Hogwarts itself is incomplete and unreliable. Not just the history, and not just the guide, but Hogwarts itself. Fuck, Sirius. Just hit us all in the feels. The ones that love us never really leave us. Whew. I'm kind of glad this movie's almost over because I am tired, you guys. It's extra tiring having this light shining on me the whole time, so like my eye is going overtime right now just because this light's so bright. It's good because it makes it so that you guys can actually see me well enough. So like it's worth it, but it gets really tiring on my eyes. Oh, Kev's gonna complain about the choice that he made for himself. Almost 2:30. Yeah. Um, it's coming up on 12:30 for me. Line from Sirius has been a lifesaver for me so many times in my life. Yeah, it's true. Um, it's a nice reminder whenever you're going through times of grief. That wave that Michael Gambon gives is so weird. He's not the best. Yeah, it's a good thing Harry and Hermione, that were time traveling right there, didn't look up all of a sudden. It's fucked up that they don't just explain it to Ron. Like, why do they mess with him right there? Just tell him. Just tell him you time traveled. Also, the Whomping Willow has murdered too many birds this year. It is disturbing. Oh, God. So sorry, guys. I'm getting tired. I think my brain knows the movie's almost over, so it's like, okay, sleep mode. Third yawn. No, he hasn't been sacked, Harry. He's quitting. Because he's a hero. Because Ron has to be the stereotypical male goof. It bothers me too. Like, we talked about that a little bit earlier in the movie when Snape calls Hermione a know-it-all. And in the book, Ron says, like, hey, don't ask a question if you don't want an answer. He jumps to her defense. In the movie, Snape calls her a know-it-all, and Ron just says, well, he has a point. It's terrible. It's terrible. They took Ron and made him into so much less than he is. Did that with Ginny, too. Think you're tired, and our YouTuber is doing a 100-hour live stream. I'm not saying I'm the best at this at all. I'm not saying I'm the most tired person in the world. Fully commend that person who's doing a 100-hour stream, and I also think that they are a little insane for doing so. Also don't really believe in comparing people's struggles to each other's. That's beside the point. Everyone's struggle is relative. What did Remus do after this school year? That's a good question. And like, what was he doing before this school year? You know, like, where does he find work elsewhere? Because I know it's difficult for him to find work. No, I know you're kidding, Spider-Man. It's just late, and so whenever I get tired, I start getting a little more serious with some of the things I say. So don't even trip. It's all good. I mean, I imagine Remus probably has a home somewhere, and maybe he has some money saved somehow, somewhere, some way. Oh yeah, let's just cut the whole Firebolt plot out of the entire movie until the very end. And let's do this stupid freeze frame. It's the most expensive broom in the world, too. Yeah, good question. Where's the Grindylow? Lupin's going to ask about that in a later movie. And it wasn't there in the movie, so it's not movie canon. Oh, Flawed One, we only got a couple minutes left. Stick around, just a little bit longer. And freeze frame. It's such a bad ending. Alright, guys, we did it. We watched the movie. Thank you guys so much for joining me again this time. Since video isn't working, I'm not going to sit through the credits like I did last time. If you've got any last questions that you want to ask, I'll stick around for a couple minutes, but then we'll go ahead and clock out. Thank you guys again for joining me. Go ahead and type any last minute questions you got. I'll be on for, I'll say, like 5 more minutes. Yeah, I think, like we said earlier, see you, Wellington. See you in 2 weeks' time. 2 weeks, I will be uploading Chapter 1 of Goblet of Fire. I'm going to take next week off, and then we will be back on, I don't know what date that is. The 13th? No, the 14th of May. So yeah, May 14th, first episode of Fire. Yeah, I don't know. Oh, and see you, Flawed One. Good night. Have a good time in Texas. Whatever you're doing tomorrow. Probably going to work, I imagine, or school. Yeah, like we mentioned early on, it's not a very good adaptation of the book. But I think it's a good movie. It does significantly change the landscape of, just the visual landscape of the school. The movies got real dark real fast too, like visually dark, not just like, tonally dark. Yeah. Thanks for joining us, YK. Have a good rest of your day. happy to know that you're in such a vastly different part of the world than I am. That's really cool. Makes me really happy to see people in really faraway places enjoying the work that I do, enjoying the community that we have together. Isn't there something in the credits where like you can see a pair of feet that are like making out or something? All right. Yeah, just like 2 more minutes if anyone has any last minute questions, and then we're gonna close the stream for the night. Let me know if you've got anything else you want to say while we're here. I love the music in this movie so much. Like, I think the music in the third movie is some of the best, for sure. Yeah, it's so good. There's still 6 people watching with me right now, so I'm not gonna log off yet. And you guys haven't started dropping off like flies yet, so. All right. Hasn't been any movement in the comments, so I'm just gonna call it. Thank you guys for watching. Like I said, in 2 weeks' time, May 14th, I think is the date. Episode 1 of Goblet of Fire. So make sure you guys are read up by then, and I will see you guys that Tuesday.